What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman back at it again with episode 11 of Against the Blitz. I'm here with Football with Oz, Austin. We are going to have fun with episode 11. We are going to go through some of the best, worst plays of the season. We have different categories to share with you guys. And this episode would probably be best if you checked it out on YouTube if you're not already over there. So I do highly recommend, if you're a Spotify listener, checking it out for visual purposes. But this is going to be a fun one. I had a really good time going through and finding these plays. I don't know about you, but this was a fun.
Yeah, it took forever. You know, there's thousands of plays that happen in an NFL season, so trying to find one that fits each category was almost torture, but it was also really fun, especially for our first few categories that we'll touch into later. For anybody that's still committing to being an audio listener at this point, I'll do my best to commentate and paint a perfect picture for you of what you're seeing, but yeah, agreed. Definitely watch the YouTube version.
Anyway, we have the following categories. We have best throw, best catch, hardest hit, best interception, clutch play, best incompletion, which is basically the best throw that did not end up getting caught, or worst play, as well as funniest play and best run. So we have a lot to go through. We have some honorable mentions as well, but ultimately we will give you our opinion on the best one for each. So let's start off with the worst. You said you have one for worst play, one for funniest play, because mine kind of fit both.
Mine kind of was the same. For worst play, I thought it was just like a fundamentally bad decision. For funniest play, it was an accident. So that's kind of how I broke it into. But they both kind of fall into the funny category.
All right, let's check out Austin's funniest play. This one was familiar to me when I pulled it up, and certainly I will just say it now, was one of my funniest plays as well. I mean, it speaks for itself. Like, Kenny Pickett doing Kenny Pickett things. Like, you know, a lot of people take to Twitter, like you said prior to the podcast, and said anybody can be quarterback for the Eagles and probably do well, but you know,
maybe not Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Maybe not Kenny Pickett.
There's no way to even like describe what happens here, because he just doesn't throw the ball. Like,
I think you can say though, having small hands wasn't really a huge problem, because that ball was stuck to his hand like glue. There was like he couldn't get that ball out of his hands. Maybe his hands were still too big.
Well, that's what he gets for wearing fucking gloves. Like,
yeah.
That's seriously.
I wonder if that had something to do with it.
Actually, from what I watched when watching this back, his arm gets hit beforehand. So like it gets hit. So I think it screws him up.
But like I guess he tried to hold on to it at the very end because
I think
it was
so.
Loose.
Yeah,
but maybe he does. Maybe his hands are too tiny and he can't hold on to the ball.
Why does the forward momentum like roll him over? I guess
he acts like the ball weighed like it was like a 80-pound kettlebell. Like he just shot his ball forward.
Yeah, no, it's like he's doing shot put and he like holds on to the ball and it just drags him down.
That's tragic.
Poor Kenny Pickett.
For like the 20 minutes of screen time he earned this season.
Yeah.
That being one of the very few clips that he's known for.
Well, fortunately for him, he won a Super Bowl. He got to have a few snaps in the most important game of the year.
There we go. Yeah.
It's crazy to say out loud.
He did a lot of work.
So, all right. That was Austin's funniest play. Like I said, it fits the description for mine as well. I also threw in, I felt like it would be an injustice not to feature a Will Levis play. And I thought this one was the worst out of the bunch because it was just so avoidable. Like, he's going to take the snap. This is 3rd and goal halfway through the second quarter. This is by no means like an end-all be-all situation. Like, this isn't the last play of the game. You don't need to score to keep yourself alive. And he just, for some reason, decides to backward pitch it to Tajay Spears from this platform. And he has to see the Jet. He has to see the Jets players in front of him. Like, he has to have,
like, he is hoping that Tajay Spears can catch this ball, make, who is that? Like Quincy Williams plus, like, I don't even know who else missed. Like, that's not happening. But And he's winning in the second quarter. I don't.
And they're winning. Yeah, I didn't even realize that.
They're literally winning. They could be up by 2 scores if they kick a field goal.
I will say, as much as Tyjae Spears probably wasn't expecting that, I would have been kind of pissed if he didn't. If I was Levis and I did that, I would have been like, bro, you couldn't help me out.
He has hands on the ball. He tried picking it up and running too. He should have just fallen on it. Like literally right there as he like sat on it. He should have just fallen on it, but it's a running back's instinct too, just to get what you can.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine anybody is expecting the ball in this situation. Like he's actually looking at him, so I guess
he's ready for the ball. Yeah, he has eyes on him the entire time. But I mean,
no,
I don't think he was actually expecting it. Yeah, that's actually the one that I picked for worst play. And that being nothing of an accident. That's just a horrible decision.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Like the one where he has his hands on his head, and he's on his knees. Like that one, he's at least trying to like get rid of the ball when he's getting sacked. Like he's just trying to not take a sack and throw it away. And it just ended up being a weak throw.
It just didn't have enough mustard. Yeah, but Jesus, man.
But this one, there is no like justification for this.
If your heels are over your head as a football player at any point, don't try and make more of a play. Like his heels are like that's a Pilates move. And he is actively trying to get the ball to the running back up a score.
There's no vision here.
In the red zone. No shot. In the second quarter. I don't understand.
Yeah, I felt like this definitely Will Levis had to be here, or else we would have failed at our job doing this 100,000%. So that were the best or the funniest and worst play. Let's move on to another one that I feel like could be unanimous. The best run category, the best run clip.
Okay.
Are you curious? What? I wonder what you did then. If you're saying you're curious,
I just don't think I haven't watched enough like highlight YouTube compilations to know like what's like the unanimous number one run. I actually struggled to like think of one run that like was set apart from the others this year.
To be fair, I did forget this kind of was a check down, so
I guess I don't have the same run then.
So I guess I kind of cheated now that I think about
it. I think I know what you're. Did it go that far?
What do you mean?
Did it go far? Like, was it like 20 plus yards?
No,
I think I know what you're talking about.
It deserved a mention. Like, it could not be on here. Whoop! Like, the Saquon backward hurdle. Like, we don't need to watch it. You've probably seen it 40,000 times by now.
I thought about doing like a best move category where that absolutely would have been my pick. That actually wasn't my pick. I picked like an actual like handoff long touchdown run, but that was the most insane football play I've ever watched live. That was so stupid.
I think I can say the same. That might be one of the best play. That might be the best play by an individual I've ever seen.
Because it wasn't even just the hurdle either. It was like the whole lead up to it. Like he made 2 guys miss at the line of scrimmage. And then for absolutely no reason against an already struggling Jacksonville team, just put them all on a sweatshirt. Like he just had to be the first person to hurdle someone backwards.
I guess it's like, how do you ever, because I feel like I saw something that said he had attempted this a couple years ago, or he did something close to it. It's like, where do you come up with the idea of backwards hurdling somebody, for one, and for two, how do you like practice that? Like that was fluid.
Yeah, like think of the repercussions if you miss. Like where the landing zone would be of a helmet spearing you at 20 miles an hour. Like that is straight from behind. Like he has to be so confident in his like 45-inch vertical to clear you backwards. That's arrogant, but amazing.
I can't even do like a spin move, and this dude's like backwards.
Yeah, I would start stumbling the second I caught it.
All right, let's see what Austin's best run was. I guess I did kind of cheat. I'll admit.
Yeah, hint. It's the same guy. Okay, yeah, whatever. The 2,000-yard rusher gets to be on here twice. Yeah, sue me. This was the one against the Commanders in the playoffs that just absolutely ruined their morning or their afternoon in one single play.
I forgot about this one. That one definitely would have been my choice had I not gone with the check down.
Yeah, it was also the timing of the play for me. Like, it wasn't just the fact that it was a really good 60-yard touchdown run where he made multiple people miss in a weird way. It's also the fact that, like, it was the opening touchdown in a dominant playoff win that he was definitely the MVP for. So, God.
Yeah, the timing of it is
ridiculous.
A good point. Like, we had talked about this game, obviously, after it happened, but how draining it must have been for Washington to have that long drive, multiple fourth downs converted, and they only end up with 3 points anyway. Like, they begged for every yard they got, and the 3 points they ended up with. And then Saquon gets the ball and does this on the first play. Like, the feeling that I would love to interview a Washington commander that was on the field for that, just to know how deflating it was to see.
Yeah, you can ask Frankie Louvu.
Yes.
He's the only one I want to talk to. Not that he was bad in this play necessarily, but what he did on the QB sneaks over and over and over again was.
Dude, those guys were put through some torture that game. Like, the poor Commanders defense, that was horrifying torture, especially since the offense kept fumbling.
I remember their defense all season long when I was doing fantasy. Like, you wanted to play your running back against Washington because they couldn't stop the run. Then immediately first play, the best running back in the entire NFL runs one on him 60 yards for a touchdown. Like, that's so fitting.
I remember. Do you remember a few years ago when James Harden had, like, he was in, like, his prime scoring era, and his over under for a game was like 44 and a half points.
Yes.
And then he goes and puts like 66 up. It's like, what the fuck? That's what this was. I think Saquon's line for this was like 105 and a half. It's like, that's not comparable to James Harden's 44 and a half, but it's like, it makes you think for a second. It's a postseason game. There are a lot of yards. You assume Washington is going to try and do their best to stop him. So maybe it's tough sledding. And then he just gets 3/4 of it on the first play.
60 of it on one run. I would be sick. I'd throw up.
Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, the best running back in football this year definitely deserves to be on here. Probably more than twice. We could probably make this all about him.
Yeah, I mean, he had the one against the Rams in the snow to seal the game. Like,
oh my God.
A million different 60 to 70 yard touchdowns that just sold games. So, yeah, I mean, there's countless.
I forgot
not to have a whole Saquon tangent, but yeah, like, there's countless.
I think that game, watching Saquon dominate that game in that weather, that might have been one of the most horrifying individual performances ever. Like,
and it was a game that like Hurts was struggling too. And like, he was the entire reason that the offense moved at all. Like, disgusting individual. That was tough to see.
Like, if you ever see those, have you ever seen those lists of like scariest players of all time, and it's like a player in a certain game, or like Jordan Fluke, for example, will like make that list. Yeah. For me, Barkley in the snow against the Rams will be on that list forever.
It's like Sammy Watkins week 1. Week 1 in the snow. Like,
Sammy Watkins week 1. That was crazy. It was like 3 years straight of that guy.
I remember that.
But yeah, so that was in the snow. Like, poor. I felt for those safeties trying to change direction with him as he had a full head of steam in the snow. It looked like he wasn't even playing in elements compared to everybody else. He just
it's like watching LaShawn McCoy back when he was an Eagle doing that. Like, it was the exact same stuff, but he has like 20 pounds on him.
Yeah, seriously. It's like, even if you got hands on him, like, maybe McCoy, you can like grab with an arm and maybe hold him back for a second, but Barkley's just gonna rip through you. Let's move on. Let's go to, we have best in completion, clutch play. Let's do hardest hit. Let's go to
hardest hit. There's a lot of them, but it was hard to find one because they don't really pop up on the stat sheet. It doesn't say like boom next to like when you get hit hard on CBS Sports. It's just like, you kind of got to search through all the games and find one that looked like it would have hurt the most.
All right, let's see what Austin's hardest hit was. Oh, fuck me. I see it.
Have you seen this one before?
I remember now. Oh, this one was bad.
I felt bad for Malik Willis.
This one was bad.
Malik Willis, like some of his first
Kevin
actions.
Byard too. Oh, that's got to be like the worst feeling ever, getting blindsided like that. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
It's the mix of like the head snapping back and the ball coming out at the same time.
Oh, I saw there was a hit similar to that on the Bengals backup in preseason this year, I think. If you remember.
On a quarter, I didn't watch much preseason, so I actually don't remember.
I saw it just when I was preparing for this. But
it was Logan Woodside. That makes sense.
I think it was. It was like number 11 or something.
That sounds about right for Logan Woodside, yeah. We only played like one or two quarterbacks the entire thing.
Fuck.
Oh, God.
I think it was against the Bears, too.
Was it Kevin Byard?
I don't think it was Byard. I think. Oh man, who was it? It was one of the DBs. That's got to be the worst feeling ever. Not even knowing he's coming.
Yeah.
Like, imagine being Kevin Byard here. Like, you are licking your lips. Like, you are so excited. You couldn't get to him any faster. Like, you are so ready to just implant him into the ground.
And it's Kevin Byard. It's like a aging free safety. That.
He's not even a heavy hitter either. He's just
he's never been a
ball
heavy
hawk
hitter.
Kind of guy, a center fielder coming in to kill you.
That's probably why the blitz worked, though. They're like, no way he's coming. Looks away for a second. Just gets the ball shoots straight up in the air like a fountain.
Did they recover that?
I actually don't even know. I think the clip was pretty short.
I would like to imagine the Bears got that thing.
I would hope so. I thought it was Simone Biles' husband for a while.
Wait, who? Malik Willis?
No, I thought it was Jonathan Owens for like a little bit.
You were saying Malik Willis was...
No, I thought that was Jonathan Owens for a little bit. I didn't know it was like the oldest safety in the division.
This one definitely. My biggest hit also fits this description. Shout out to Ding Productions. Tank Bigsby.
I remember this.
Tank Bigsby. Dude, fucking crack.
He was poor guy. That was like in the height of like the fantasy world Tank Bigsby love, which I was not a part of, mind you. But like this was insane.
Oh,
because it wasn't even like the guy made crazy contact. Like it wasn't like they were it wasn't like a T-bone, and it wasn't like he was coming in like helmet to helmet. He just hit him with so much force on like the shoulder pad that he just did a full spin in the air.
It reminds me of the way that the special teamer hit him. It reminded me of the Elandon Roberts play on the goal line against the Cowboys. He like kamikaze tackled him. He kind of does the same thing. He dives in shoulder first. It really is perfect contact though.
Yeah, all that for like the cheapest contract in the NFL. He's just coming in and just giving that's the kind of stuff that like gets people contracts. So like Brooks Reed made an NFL career out of doing that exactly.
That's very true.
It's amazing.
Like these are coaches' favorite players too. Like these guys these kinds of plays. Like these are guys that coaches love.
Helmet staring at the ground, didn't even know where he was. Comes in, beams him 5 yards backwards.
I had one other one that wasn't really a big hit, but I recorded. I have a few on the back burner that I want for some of these categories, but this I just felt like more so deserved like recognition because of how good of a play it was, and it kind of hurts me to do because I can't stand CJ Gardner-Johnson. But
I don't even know this one.
This is 4th and 1. Like I said, the hit isn't massive, but it's a good play more than anything. It's 4th and 1 right now. Atlanta has the ball, obviously, at the 39, and CJ's in the middle of the field in the box. It's dive with Bijan, and he just leaves him in the hole. And like I know Bijan isn't the biggest back, but to not allow an inch, to get that much pushback on any running back in a gap like that as a safety.
Yeah, this is insane to hit at like 220 Bijan like that.
Right. I mean, he only needed a yard. Like if Bijan just needed to literally win against the DB at the point of attack, and he fails. So I thought that deserved credit. I just can't stand that guy.
Tyler Algier would have picked up that yard.
He would have. That's the funny part. He absolutely would have.
Among your hate for Tyler Algier.
That's funny that you say that because that's exactly why he would get touches. It's probably because plays like this. This was early in the season.
Someone reminded me also. I made a post earlier. I mentioned that like Rico Dowdle had the quietest 1,000-yard season ever. Somebody reminded me that Tyler Algier had 1,000 yards, and that was
Did
just
he really?
Yes, his first season starting. He had no, not this year, not this year. No, he had like 600 to 700 this year, which is still more than I thought. But like the fact that he had 1,000 yards in a season blew me. Like I totally forgot.
Yeah, I remember that. I definitely thought like he was definitely on my radar of like underrated running backs around that time, and then obviously he just gets drafted. Bijan just gets drafted, but I feel like it was one of those like 1,000-yard seasons that I could be very wrong on this, but it was more volume based. Like, was he really that efficient?
I think he had like 4.9 yards to carry.
Oh shit, I lied.
4.8, 4.9. It's pretty. Yeah, I mean that's pretty solid. That's why like everyone was pissed when they drafted Bijan because they were like, you don't really need him.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that because people were like, you have 1,000-yard rusher Tyler Algier out of the 6th round.
Yeah, well,
where we got drafted. But you're right. It's funny you say that because that's exactly why Tyler Algier gets touches he does because he probably does pick up that yard.
Speaking of the Eagles, I also almost put Oren Burks in the playoffs against like Keyshawn Nixon when he recovered the fumble against the Packers
on the kickoff on the
play of the game. Yeah, where he smashed his head and recovered a fumble, which immediately changed the entire game. That was one I almost put, but I don't know if the impact was hard enough for me to count it. And I also think it probably wasn't actually their ball.
That was what I was that's what I was gonna say. There was some pretty big controversy around that play.
Yeah, it was
with whose ball that was supposed to be.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to determine, but like, where's that ball at?
I mean, yeah, right there he has it.
25 has that ball. And Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is like kind of has his forearms on it, but like that is the returner's ball 100%. And like that's something that like a ref can clearly see. Like you see the ball, you see the returner grab it,
and then you see him scoop
it.
Yeah.
You see Nixon grab it, you see Trotter try and take it from him. And
right there.
Like if he takes like that's a recovery. He's already down. Ball in his hands.
Right. Like obviously we know that possession with knee down, shin down, elbow down, forearm down. Like there are so many body parts that deem you down with the ball. Like why does it change with a fumble recovery?
It doesn't. It's not supposed to. But like the refs just, it's the easiest thing in the world to be like, okay, well, who has the ball? All right, it's theirs. Like that's the easiest thing in the world for them to do. So they just do. Like, look at that. He has the ball.
Some time. I mean, he had it for a while too.
He had the ball the entire time.
Definitive possession of that ball for a while. Wow, that was a lot worse than I remember it being.
I never watched it extended past, and I never saw him being rolled up onto his back with the ball in his stomach.
We'll move on to our next category here. We'll get into best run. We did worst 20 plays. We did hardest hit. Let's do the clutch play.
Clutch play. I like that.
Clutch play. This is one that I had a hard time choosing. There were 3 for me that came to my mind. I'm interested to see which one you went with here.
Yeah, it was hard not to pick the Daniels Hail Mary against Chicago, but that was on every single list that existed in the entire world. So I tried to get a little bit more creative.
I like where your mind went.
They went with Drake May, who I'm pretty sure set the record for the most like time scrambling in one single play on this play.
And I mean,
like the pocket was actually great, to be honest.
It was.
He also made people miss. I don't know. And then somehow hits the running back Ramondre Stevenson for the touchdown of all people.
How did they get pressure? I mean, the pocket is great, but they only rushed 3.
They rushed 3 with a big spy. Who is that big fella?
That's 59. Yeah, 59. I mean, realistically,
what's 50 doing?
How did they even get to him? Like, look at the guards.
I don't know.
And the center.
Big
no wonder why they got to him. They didn't help.
No, they're just all staring. Like there's no help. Big ass over there, just juking him out.
Wow.
I think somebody that was back came forward.
Yeah,
I think it's the same thing as pressing in your right stick in Madden when they scramble. Like I think they sent somebody, like it might have been that linebacker over there forward.
I mean, he makes
that's
one
still
guy
ridiculous,
miss,
though.
two guys miss, and then he gets two guys sent at him.
So,
for him,
two of them
cross field to be seeing Stevenson. I mean, and Stevenson's not just open; he had to anticipate him coming back to the goal line like that.
Yeah, and this is with 0 seconds left on the game clock. There is nothing there, down by a full touchdown, 7 points, and they started off with 3 seconds on the game clock. He uses like 15. I mean, I'm pretty sure that legit took 12 seconds.
It probably did.
And there was no run after the catch. Like, it was just strictly all scramble.
Well, that's one of those that, like, falls incomplete, and you're like, holy fuck, help your quarterback out. But Stevenson actually did.
Still, please actually help your quarterback.
Yeah, seriously, still
help him out.
Yeah, that one was also one of my clutch plays, but I did have another one that I felt like deserved some recognition. I'm not going to play it, but Terry's bomb catch
crazy.
against the Bengals definitely
that was insane.
Could be here.
100%.
But mine was probably the most insane thing I saw all season. And that's probably strong, but in the moment I was like so flabbergasted. Like, oh my God. I don't know how you fucking like how you watch this and not throw up.
I don't feel anything anymore.
Oh man, this was
really
so bad. My clutch play, 4th and 1.
Oh, well, I felt nothing because we won this game. That's why I felt okay.
Fair enough.
That's why. But this play was stupid.
Oh, was this this might have been when they went for 2? Is it? Oh no, they kicked it.
No, because they went for overtime and had like 3 opportunities and they still lost.
Yep, I remember now. Yeah, well, here it is. Bo Nix to Marvin Mims, 4th and 1. Love sound, why not?
Yeah, add sound. So who is in coverage here? Yeah, so you have, is that Mike Hilton and Geno Stone? It looks like. Yeah, like
Geno Stone has to be back.
Geno Stone is a terrorist. Yeah, he's disgusting. Von Bell's just holding up the incomplete sign because he was actually even worse than Geno Stone was. He was terrible. Yeah, that's a ridiculous catch.
Fuck.
That catch is insane. Like
I could not believe it. Marvin, it's not even like Cortland Sutton or like
that wasn't even
Josh
like no, that wasn't even the craziest play that went to Marvin Mims this game. He also had like one of the candidates for best throw of the entire season earlier in this game. Bo Nix threw like a 60-yard seed to Marvin Mims.
That was against the Bengals?
Yeah. Like that was like the only 2 drives that they moved were these 2.
Wow. Yeah, this throw too was crazy. I mean, the catch was
a good throw. I mean, he was under pressure immediately.
How did he hold on to that?
The ball moved around. It moved around and like kind of touched the ground, but like I think it was just enough.
Wow. Yeah, this throw is crazy though. I mean, Bo Nix, I feel like definitely could be labeled as a structure merchant to a certain capacity, but he had plays like.
Yeah, to a degree he is, but like he has plays for sure.
I mean, off your back foot, 40 yards, and I thought for sure when he threw this in the moment, because this was on Christmas? No, this was a week after.
Yeah, it was freezing cold. I know that.
Because my family had a Christmas party like a week later, and I remember watching it with everybody, and I thought for sure he chucked this fucking thing like way out of bounds.
So I was on the opposite side end zone watching this game.
You were there?
Out there for everything.
Oh, you do say that. I guess I didn't know you meant literally. Holy fuck.
No, I was there when DeMar Hamlin happened, when Tua happened. I was there for that. I was there for everything. I was there for their first playoff win. I'm literally always there.
Wow.
So having to see this too was just another one added to the category. But thank T. Higgins and Joe Burrow. They won the game. That's totally cool. That's how I felt okay about this game.
Fair enough. I do remember that overtime was rough. The overtime was very rough.
God, it was insane.
Hell of a game to be at, though. Wow.
The game would have been won if Cade York made a 30-yard field goal, and he just beamed it. Just to start overtime, they hit a full like 80-yard drive. Cade York beams like a 25-yard field goal. They have to go restart, and then they finally score a touchdown.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was one of the games of the year. That was a great game.
That was one of my favorite games I've been to. I told my dad that. I was like, that's probably my favorite game I've been at,
100%.
vibes-wise.
So football, that's a football fan kind of game.
Mm.
It's a neutral watcher. I had a hell of a time. Let's go to best interception.
This one was hard to find for me, but I found one that was kind of more timely than like crazy one-handed catch for me. It was just like super, super clutchly timed.
Let's check it out. Best interception. Okay, I remember this one.
Kello Witherspoon.
Kyler Murray, first and goal, 41 seconds left. This game was nuts too. This game was awful until the end.
They're down by 4 points, which is crazy. So like a touchdown easily could win them this game if they get one.
Rams have one timeout too, so it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. What a catch! That's a crazy catch to be able
to
recognize.
To like not let that ball hit the ground.
Wow.
And stay in bounds.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean,
I feel like he should have caught that though. Who was that, McBride?
It was, yeah. That was like his 17th target of the game.
Yeah, I think I watched.
It went off his head.
Like,
he did
hit him right in the helmet.
Yep. I remember that.
What's with the Cardinals throwing to players that aren't expecting it in the end zone? It happened to AJ Green where his back was turned that one time. Like this. Against the Packers. This just keeps happening to Cardinals.
That game was
receivers.
Crazy too. Was that in overtime?
It was really late. It might have been overtime. I watched that game live too. Like I remember that.
Oh shit.
I remember because like AJ Green was in his like washed era and just hits him in the back of the head. Wow. Yeah. Like a top 5 tight end in the NFL bounces off of his head into a Kello Witherspoon's diving arms.
Be able to not let that
somehow gets a hand under it. Yeah.
That's a crazy play. You're right.
And then Zay Jones goes and beats him up at the very end of this play. I don't know if you can really see it. Or whoever.
Yeah, he's getting ready to punch. He put his arm up. He ran to swing. It's like all NFL players' instinct nowadays. It's like they see a ball carrier anywhere, and they're all just. It's like in Madden, if you like hold the RB button, but you're not near anybody to actually like get a strip, they run with their arm up.
There was a game where Odell kept doing that. Like Odell, like legitimately was chasing people around, like punching them. I think he was a Raven at the time.
I think he punched someone in the ass at one point.
Yes, he did.
That was him.
They were down for like a full like 5 Mississippi, and then he just uppercuts him in the butt. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, he did. He literally
like he punches buttholes and he punches kicking nets, but like that's always good for these kids.
Fuck, that was hilarious. That's a funny pull. Odell butt punch. All right,
I didn't.
I had another couple interceptions, and this one I feel like you definitely remember as well.
What?
A lot of Bengals.
I tried to steer clear.
Here. But this was probably the most, let's say most talented interception that I saw this year.
Oh yeah, I thought about this one. This one had me peeing my pants.
That's insane. Were you? I know this is in Kansas City. Cam Taylor-Britt.
No, I was not here.
Wow.
Because this was like in the midst of him like getting burned really bad. This fraction of the season, but he made everybody forget with like the craziest interception of the year.
It didn't even juggle. He just,
he
snagged that shit and pulled it in all in one clean motion.
Well, this one was perfect because he kept shit talking Xavier Worthy. He told him he was only fast. He wasn't a good receiver, like to the media before this game, and then pretty much locked him up, and then caught that pick on him. Rasheed Rice ended up birding Cam later in this game, or earlier, but
that's okay. He did this.
They actually had Xavier Worthy on locks because Cam Taylor-Britt was one-handed picking it off on him.
They lose this game. Pick at the end of the third quarter, up by 5.
It's Dejon Anthony. That's how.
What happened? I don't remember.
It was like
the end of the game.
Yeah, it was like that like insanely untimely pass interference at the very end of the game that just did not have to happen, that lost in the game.
Wow.
Yeah, that was in the height of everybody like blaming the refs for the Chiefs' success.
Yeah, that was like the first biggest like blunder, quote unquote. I think it was a fine call. I mean,
it wasn't bad. It was just like the fact that it kept happening. Everyone was freaking out.
This other interception, I have a couple more I want to share. This one was it doesn't look that good at first, but once we kind of investigate it closer, slot fade against Jalen Coker, and you can see at the last second he gets his head around and somehow holds on to this ball. Like that angle is tough to see, but this one right here,
he is a small human being.
Like,
McMillan's probably like 5'9", 5'10".
Really? I didn't even know that.
He is not big. Yeah.
Like,
so like you get your head around
literally
against like a 6'3" receiver. Gets his head around like with the ball in his face mask, holds on to it too.
That was a hell of a pick. I when I saw that one, I'm like, that's one of those interceptions that was very good, but wasn't flashy. It's not something that would catch your eye right away, so you're not gonna like think much of it. But this had to, in my opinion.
Oh my God, this was my favorite one. He killed himself sliding too.
Yes, he did. Michael Pierce picking off Bailey Zappi in the big 2024.
The biggest human being.
I got the all 22 of this, and it's so
funny. The slide was so brutal. Why was he doing that? Why do you ask 6 foot tall, 350 pound Michael Pierce, who's like 33 years old, to drop back?
It'd be the fucking hook.
I get sending everybody, but like, so who else did they send? So they dropped somebody that looks fairly lean. I can't even see who that is. But they dropped somebody else back. It's like Broderick Washington or something, who looks athletic. And then they put Michael Pierce.
It's funny because like he doesn't even drop with his eyes to Bailey either. He's so focused on getting to where he's gotta be that he's like looking over to this side of the field.
The worst part is that Bailey saw him. I have to hope. But like just tried to fit the ball in there anyways. And it still didn't work.
The throw was so bad. All he had to do was wait for the drag to clear the 350-pound man.
That QB had like the most productive college passing season of all time. That guy did.
That's why numbers in college never will matter.
They don't mean nothing. Because look at this. This is what that gets you. He underthrows him to the biggest human being I've ever seen in my life.
That was one of my favorite plays of the year. Michael Pierce. That's up there with like what was Connolly's first name? The Patriots lineman that took it.
Dan Connolly's kick return.
Like that's up there with that, in my opinion. Of big man moments. And oh my God, Larry Allen's return, or no, the chase down on the pick.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's one of the most athletic plays I think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
but
only if that happened in the great 2024, we can put that on a clip. But
yeah, true. I didn't even realize I did it so like subconsciously, but in my friend group, there's like an ongoing joke of me always saying "of all time" after like something, and that's now fair. anytime I say it, they send this picture of like he's never beaten the allegations, and I'm sitting here saying "of all time" like over and over again, and I keep seeing that fucking picture. All right, we're down to I think our last 3 categories, and we'll go to best incompletion now.
Oh boy,
this was the toughest one for me.
Oh, this was the easiest one for me.
Really?
Oh yeah, I had one in mind from the very beginning.
Oh God, I'm interested now. Now I have to know. All right. Oh, you asshole. You fucking
it was a great throw.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
We all know this one. Especially seeing, I didn't put the other angle of this in there because it would have been too raw. Of Dalton Kincaid actually like overrunning the ball. Wow, but this was an absolute seed. This was a fantastic pass, like when you actually watch it from other angles. Even from this angle, it's a fine pass. Don't worry about the Shakir orbit. That's the stupidest thing ever. All we worry about is the fact that Dalton Kincaid overran that ball and then it hit him in the arms anyways. Went through his arms. It didn't even just graze them. It went through them.
That is the definition of like what I was saying with Drake May. Like, help your quarterback just one time.
If that was Matt Collins, that's a first down, and we're talking about a different team in the Super Bowl. Except no, it had to be Dalton Kincaid.
You're probably right. Matt Collins probably makes that catch.
I am so confident. I have never seen Matt Collins not come down with something. Yeah, bring this. So watch Kincaid as he comes like on like a deep cross. Not that guy. And then he sees the ball well in time, overruns it, and then dives like it's MLB The Show. And then it just.
How do you drop that?
I don't
care. I don't care what the context of the play is. If you showed me this screenshot and you said, should this be caught? The answer is yes every time.
It's also one thing if he catches it and they determine that the nose touches the ground. That's one thing. The ball just squirted through. It didn't even have a chance. From a first-round pick, you are Dalton Kincaid.
It just sucks because I was coming off a week where the Bills beat the Ravens, and I'm like, you can't blame Mark Andrews for dropping that ball on the goal line at the game. Like, you can't blame him for the game. You can't do that. There's more things that happened, like Lamar's 2 turnovers. And then, Dalton Kincaid goes and does this, and I'm not blaming him for the game, but,
he didn't help.
Didn't help.
He didn't help. He just overruns it and then comes back. And, oh, my God. Dawson Knox would never.
I don't know.
Quentin Morris would never.
Quentin Morris catches that ball.
Zach Davidson catches that ball.
Zach Davidson. Now we're just getting really mean. Now we're just getting extremely
Tommy Doyle
rude.
Catches that ball.
Hey, shout out Tommy Doyle, man. That man retired. He deadass retired this past week.
That's insane. I always thought he had potential.
I guess that certainly was worthy of.
It's a great pass, man.
Best incompletion. It didn't even cross my mind. Wow, I'm sick. Well, I had a couple best incompletions. My first one, this was, in my opinion, an insane throw. And we've talked about this man a couple times on here. He's a fan favorite of ours. He might not be the best quarterback ever. In fact, he is probably leaning toward
We got
worse.
Derek Carr.
Yeah, but Derek Carr clip.
He's
Famous-
so solid.
Famous third down, spag cover 0 call.
Nothing.
All you got to do is hope your guys win. Well, Derek Carr's dealing with Marcus Tipton here, or whatever the fuck his name is. And,
That's a bot. That's such a dot.
this guy gets fucking rocked.
Derek Carr is solid. I'm not gonna. Dude, that's in the basket.
Oh.
He led him away from the defender's strong side. He led him to the side. That was perfect.
A perfect ball. This guy is
away from leverage.
This guy is a great deep ball thrower.
People would yell at me when I say he's top 5 deep ball thrower in the NFL. Everything else in between, maybe not, but he has the best a top 5 deep ball in the National Football League. It's ridiculous. To Olave, to Shaheed, to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, to whoever Mason Tipton, this might be.
Yes,
whoever this might be.
Oh my God, that throw was crazy. That throw was crazy. I saw this throw and I'm like, what the? I actually tweeted about it. The way I found it was I was going through, I searched up on Twitter, should have been caught or something. And one of my own tweets popped up and I'm like, what play was this? So I went back to the date of games that were played for the Saints and they played the Chiefs. And I went and looked up deep shots under pressure in NFL Pro. And this is what came
up. That's a fantastic pass. That's why you're undrafted. You got to catch that ball.
Seriously. Oh man, Derek Carr. This is why I'll forever be a defender of you, because you can make throws like that.
He's so solid. I'm not going to hear any slander.
Kellen Moore. High praise from Kellen Moore after his hiring. He said Derek Carr is a great quarterback in this league.
He has high praise from everyone that knows football. And he was an MVP candidate at one point, the one time he had good weapons. Just let him. Let's give him some slack.
Maybe Kellen Moore will cook this year. Maybe Derek Carr will have a career season. Chris Olave will suffer 4 concussions. Rashid Shaheed will have a full breakout.
I love Shaheed. I hope he comes back.
Yeah, me too. I forgot that guy tore his knee too, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one I wanted to show real quick. This one was hot at the time it happened. Do you remember?
Ringing a bell. No, not quite.
Chiefs Chargers late.
Can I assume who's going to drop it?
Oh wait, yeah. Who do you assume drops it here?
I would assume Johnson, but he's not looking his way, so probably not.
He gets away from the pressure. He makes.
Oh, I do remember this
Sidearm.
Yes,
throw,
I do remember this.
Leading Dobbins. It was a nasty angle he hit this from.
I remember saying, like, yeah, I know it's like a running back that isn't known for being a receiving running back, but like that's such a good throw against such a big rival. Like, you have to catch that ball.
I mean, the way he
my god
leads that in there, like Bolton is in, even though Bolton's behind him, even though Bolton's behind Dobbins, he's in perfect position to just have
that is fantastic coverage. That is the first time Nick Bolton's been in good coverage. That was a really good. Wow, that was such a good throw.
It like gets
that's something we would have seen from Aaron Rodgers in like 2017. Like, that is actually a stupid throw.
Yep, and because he threw a few interceptions for the first time in the postseason.
Yeah, this guy sucks. Yeah, this it is my job to tell you this guy sucks because he can't win Super Bowls.
Yeah, that throw was that might be one of the better throws I've seen this year. And you're right. It was Aaron Rodgers-esque. Those were the kinds of throws that made Aaron Rodgers.
Literally, like rolling to the left, flick. It looks more awkward when Herbert does it, but like it gets there.
Yes, it does. There's no like aesthetic like wrist flick where Rodgers does. Yeah,
it's just a. It's just one big catapult.
All right, so we're down to two categories: best throw, best catch. I'll let you decide which category we go to.
Let's do best catch first, because this one was a little bit more of a highlight. This one was everywhere, but I had to put it in.
Okay, yeah, this was definitely one of my votes as well. It's kind of hard not to have been.
I didn't even want it to be, but like the more I watched it, I was like, this is just such a stupid grab.
Yeah, I agree. It
with the most like obnoxious lower body movement that did not need to happen.
Like 3rd and 19.
Yeah, and then you have the jump man himself, like the most obnoxious lower body. He's doing the splits in midair.
Wow, and getting the shin down too. I would have been mad if they called this back. Like, the rule of cool should be in place for things like this, in case he didn't get a shin down. Second year in a row, he's had a catch of the year bid.
Yeah, next year he'll do it on a different team when he gets traded, apparently.
Well, without Rodgers, you'd like to think he will be around next year, right? I had a couple other top catches I wanted to talk about because I had a hard time choosing. Because, like you said, I didn't want to go with that one because it just was, so popular. So I took a couple others, and Juwan Jennings makes the cut.
Yes,
against the Rams.
He was on my fantasy bench this game.
Was he really? The 300-yard game or whatever.
Yes, I picked him up just in case because I had so many injuries, and he went berserk.
Literally jumps over Quentin Lake.
He's strangling him.
Literally.
He has him in a rear naked choke.
Help.
Literally help.
He didn't even play coverage. He
catches it through his arms.
Yeah,
and he takes Quentin Lake's arm with him.
That's what You Got Moss was created for.
Yeah.
Poor Quentin Lake, bro. And this is the shit that Brock Purdy gets away with. Like, fuck off.
Brock Purdy willed this to happen.
Yes, he did.
He carried Juwan Jennings down the field.
And Dalton Kincaid couldn't fucking fuck off, dude.
Yeah, Juwan Jennings caught that ball. He would have.
Another honorable mention I have two more. This one was an underrated catch. This reminded me of. Do you remember a couple of years ago?
How am I looking at it?
Last year when Tyreek, he caught that bomb from Tua against the Commanders, but he kind of had to readjust his head positioning, looking over his head at the last second.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think
Wilson's running a slot fade, and it's a corner out. Actually,
Michael Wilson.
Look at
God,
this guy's
he's
fucking
backwards.
Head. The ball's here.
It's like Willie Mays.
Yes, the ball is here.
Outstanding.
And he's literally like fucking, and he somehow the track
Jeez
didn't
Louise,
hold on
dude.
to it.
That is the hardest part of catching a football. Anyone who hasn't tracked a deep ball in their life, especially with a dude going behind you, like looking backwards, his spine is breaking as we speak, like legitimately bending his back backwards.
God, like look at the angle. You can see his head's
Michael
literally
Wilson
like this.
is so solid.
He's literally like flat with the earth.
That's a crazy play. It's a good ball, like in theory, but like, wow. Is that Tariq Woolen getting clipped for like the 30th time this season?
Yes, it is Woolen.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like he's literally doing the limbo. Like he's getting ready to limbo.
Yes, dude, he would kill it.
Wow. Yeah,
and it's all up, like none of it's in the hips. Like it's all just his spine bending. Incredible.
Coverage is not bad either, and Woolen's getting some contact on him, and he's going to the ground hard.
Is that Kobe Bryant trying to get in there? Yeah, that's crazy.
That catch was cracked. Like I saw this, I'm like, holy fuck.
That's stupid. That's such a good catch.
Insane. So Michael Wilson.
I don't remember that, but like I love Michael. I am the biggest Michael Wilson truther out there. So
really?
Oh yeah, I have since since he was a prospect. I was pretty big on him, so I've always been a preacher.
Michael Wilson's one of those guys that kind of fits like the Tyler Algier mold. Like, oh, who caught it from Kyler? Who caught the touchdown from Kyler? Was it McBride? Was it Harrison? Was it James Conner at least? No, it was fucking Michael Wilson. Like he had a few of those moments.
He's like a career 650-yard receiver going forward. But like, that's good. That's solid. They'll take it.
The last catch, this, if I had to choose, would probably be my favorite out of the bunch. And this was the one I was telling you before the show that I didn't even know happened. We have.
Oh, I remember. I think
Eagles,
I might.
Jags.
Okay, I think I'm.
Jahan Dotson.
I'm thinking of a different one from the Jags game.
He somehow like.
That's insane. That's a horrible pass. That's actually insane.
Terrible, terrible throw. He like reaches over his head to tip it to himself.
I was thinking of
the Garrett catch from 2 years ago.
I was thinking of the one-handed catch by Devontae Smith in the back of the end zone from this game. I don't know if you remember that one.
Oh, I forgot that part. Yeah, I do. No, that one was on my radar, but I saw this one.
Yeah,
this was way
That's
better.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't actually even remember that play. Damn.
Oh God, like he somehow wraps his arms through. That's crazy. Oh no, it wasn't someone else. Arm behind Tyson Campbell's head, tips it up to himself, and somehow comes down with it. That to me is catch of the year. I think, honestly.
That's fair. I mean, also from like Jahan Dotson, it wasn't like it was some like stud. It was some guy like we all kind of thought was like a disappointment this season. Apparently, made the best catch of the year.
That's what makes these. That's what makes these things so fun for me to do. Like going through and finding those types of catches.
Yeah,
really.
There was one last one, which was like Adam Thielen in overtime against the Buccaneers, like one-handed. It was a bad throw by Bryce. And it was just a stupid catch. That was like the last one that I had on my memory file. It's a good team.
3rd and 5 overtime, tied at 23 at midfield. This is the game. Yeah. I mean, this is the game.
So they're going towards field goal range. They're pretty close if they can get a first down.
Yep, this catch. I saw this one.
It's a fade, but like hits the. Oh my God! It's like they were like not on the same schedule of what route he was supposed to be running.
Yeah.
Like it looked like a fade for a sec, but he took it outside.
Usually on throws like this, it's too far outside. And then, like, at least with his momentum, he would have been able to dive toward the sideline and make a one-handed catch.
No, he had to do a full
rotation, like adjust his momentum and fall back into it. Yeah, that's up there too. I feel like I didn't give this one enough consideration. This one is crazy.
Considering like the time of the game and like who that is,
his age,
how bad the throw was. Yeah, that DB was. I feel like if he wasn't like he got burnt twice in the same play. He stumbled twice. If he stumbled even only once, that was an incomplete pass.
All he had to do was be remotely in the vicinity. It would have like hit his arm or something.
Like he stumbled when he hit his brake there. Then he gets there, stumbles again. Like that's ridiculous.
Like, how are you not close enough to break this up?
I don't even know who that is.
I don't either.
Like Kayvon Merriweather? I don't know who that is. Like,
oh wow, yeah, hell of a catch from Thielen. Wow,
absolutely incredible.
That one deserved more love. I feel like I disrespected my boy Adam. All right, moving on to
best throw.
Best throw indeed. This was hard, man. I was deliberating about this for a long time.
There was a few where like I was like, does it need to be like distance or quality of like difficulty? But I went with one that was just like the one that I picked that I know for a fact I could never make in a million years. Yeah. That's how I knew it was. That's how I knew it was my best throw of the season. The one I knew I could physically never make.
Yeah, this was on my list. Like, we all saw it when it happened.
I screamed.
I didn't see it live. I would have
getting hit. 70 air yards to Alec Pierce.
It's a fucking missile. Like, that's the definition of a rocket launching.
Alec Pierce catches like 3 of these a game. I don't know how he doesn't have 1,200 yards.
He kind of does.
That is actually in double coverage with like. It wasn't even like he just got the ball there. That was 70 air yards, stumbling, falling through the air, off his feet, hand in his face, to a full in stride Alec Pierce, just out of reach of the defender. That's stupid. If he was any better of a quarterback, I feel like this would have got more coverage.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, shout out to Alec Pierce, too.
Dude, he had some horses on him.
Yeah, he did. I mean, this guy's got fucking fire coming off of his shoes, man. He burned.
Look at that Clydesdale. Oh my god.
Stingley, and who's he getting over?
Yeah, is that your all-pro?
Is that your all-pro getting burned by Alec Pierce?
Oh my god. Safety helped my ass. Yeah, like that's crazy.
The whole slipping thing is.
So he slips for no reason, hand in his face.
Yeah, I mean,
unrealistically good throw. There were a few others I had mentioned, but that one was the one that kind of made my jaw drop.
Yeah, I think everyone. That was the throw where like, holy shit, it's Richard. Like Richardson's here. Like,
he's back.
He's here. He's ready to go. Like that was just the second game. That was before he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. This throw was just insane. We were talking about him last week. Don't be shocked if this man with
I have that one too, yeah.
said head coach isn't back in the best quarterback conversation at some point in his career.
Best play DeAndre Swift ever had.
Literally. All he had to do was run straight. And he managed to do it.
That's such a fantastic. He like almost hook shotted this ball. Wow. Like it was such an odd, but it wasn't even like he had a bunch of power. He had to put serious touch on it too. Like, it wasn't like he could just, like, fling it as hard as he could in one direction. The safety was coming down on it. Or I guess that's a corner. But, like
jumping, too.
Yeah.
Like, who does that?
To get it over, so he had to get it over the first defender. But there's somebody coming down on him, so he had to get it in front of that guy.
Mm.
To a running back, nonetheless.
Yeah,
in his bucket.
The touch is right. Like, if this is underthrown, obviously Swift is running, so it's not going to get to him. If it's overthrown, either Swift gets fucking cracked trying to chase it
by the hitman.
by the white hitman. He either is dead trying to run to it, or Harrison Smith picks it off. Like, that probably gets picked off of a lot of quarterbacks try that.
Yeah.
And
like if Aiden O'Connell tries that pass, that's
Aiden O'Connell. Okay, let's be real. Aiden O'Connell is not making it past this point.
He is getting sacked by, it looks like Van Ginkel. Yes. Also, honorable mention, Andrew Van Ginkel had a hit on Jahmyr Gibbs this season. I did not know existed. He destroyed him. Speaking of Van Ginkel.
Did he fumble there?
It was on like a screen, so I don't know if it was like an incomplete pass or what, but like he killed him. I wanted to put that out there. Congratulations, Andrew Van Ginkel.
Trying to think of which one that was.
Oh my God. I almost put it down.
He got cracked on a fumble this year.
That might have been it. He got killed.
This is a throw I think we were touching on earlier. This was against the Browns, though. You said it was against the Bengals.
There is one that was a touchdown to the Bengals.
This is up there. I mean, this was third down too, if I remember correctly, in the back of the end zone. It's just a missile.
That is an absolute. Yeah, that's not what I was talking about, but that is a fantastic throw under pressure, backed up.
Oh, the safety.
Somehow the safety doesn't get there. Yeah, is Marvin Mims like the new Alec Pierce?
Yeah,
like, he does nothing all game except for just catch absolute rockets.
Oh, wow. How does that ball even get there, man? Holy shit. And then he's just off to the races. Like, that's a gunshot. And this is the kind of thing that Bo Nix did where you can't shit on him for being a Sean Payton structure merchant. Like, that's a great
normal. I actually had a Bo Nix one on my own list. That was the one I was talking about. It's different. So, like, the fact that he has, like, 3 highlights this video is, that's like the most of anybody. That's insane.
Shout out Bo Nix, man.
Bo Nix, highlight player of the year.
I also I feel like some of Josh's plays just get so discounted nowadays because it's like Josh Allen did it, so no one's even surprised anymore.
Yeah,
but the one
like if Justin Fields makes like Josh Allen's throws, they're going on SportsCenter. So.
Yes, exactly.
Like
there was the one against Baltimore where he's rolling out right and he sees Shakir down the field. And he's like, it's one of those his patented jumping out of bounds, already throwing with no room left and hitting him.
I remember that game.
My last honorable, this throw was one of those plays where I'm like, okay, if this happened in Madden, I would have broken something.
Is that Rodgers?
Yes, Rodgers against the Bills. I was watching this one live. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, he had a lot more of these this season than people would ever give him credit for.
Absolutely.
Like, he actually wasn't as disgustingly bad on the field as people like to think he was. That's stupid. How'd that even get there? Did they go under Bernard's arm?
I don't know. I still don't understand to this day.
Dude, he's like quadruple sandwiched. Who is that?
It's Lazard.
Lazard? How did he do anything positive except catch a Hail Mary on me to also beat me in fantasy? This is stupid.
That beat you? Oh,
yes.
You were facing Lazard. How down bad was this guy?
Ridiculously. He subbed out like some scrub for Alan Lazard last second. Everyone in my league that's probably listening to this is all texted me at the exact same time. That's an absurd. That's an arrogant throw.
Literally.
Like the fact that you just think you're gonna complete that. Like you don't throw that as like a check down, whatever. Like that has a high likelihood of getting picked if that ball bounces in the air. So he is so confident.
There's 4 Bills players there.
So he's so confident that ball is getting caught or hitting Terrell in the back and falling to the ground that he just is willing to let it go while being tackled.
It's just so he just puts it on the back hip.
Dude, that ball didn't even wobble. Tightest spiral of the season.
Get a better perspective of
So he sat down a little early and felt it coming.
Oh my God. What the hell?
I don't think the other DBs even thought that was going to happen. Bernard's actually in fantastic coverage. Considering, I assume this is some kind of Tampa coverage here with Bernard. That's actually insane that he got all the way back.
It hits him too.
It scrapes his hip.
Oh my God.
That ball about gets stuck in his hand warmer.
Yeah, seriously, it does. It almost fits through the hole.
Imagine he picked that off using his hand warmer.
Wow. Bernard didn't even know it got there. He looks back at Rodgers. He's like,
where'd it go?
Holy fuck. Yeah, that's similar
just
to the
in his belly.
There's no.
That is the best throw of this season in terms of ball placement. In terms of having to be perfect ball placement, that gets that category for sure.
That's
jeez Louise.
You're right. He did have a couple of these. He had one to Garrett Wilson against the Niners in week 1 too, where he it was a quick fade off the line of scrimmage and Garrett won. And it was like a handoff. It's like a long handoff.
The Rodgers fade is the best play in football.
It is.
To this day. He's a madman.
Definition of a laser beam. There was another angle I thought I put in here, but I guess not. That showed it a little bit better, but absolute gun. And then you saw it earlier on my Twitter feed because I was kind of fanboying over it a little bit, but this probably will be my throw of the year. Baker Mayfield.
This was incredible. This was after, and like for a little bit of context with Jalen McMillan, this was after he catches a huge pass and gets the 15-yard taunting penalty. So they back him all the way back up 15 yards, and then he is so pissed off about that penalty that he throws a strike to Jalen McMillan for a touchdown.
Oh my God. Like, on the run, like, there's no window here.
And whoever that guy is crossing on the 10 was so open.
Mike Evans? Yeah, you made me want to throw to Mike Evans here.
Yeah, like, but instead hits the corner with a man way closer. Great catch, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, leaves a dirty pocket on the run, all upper body.
Oh, that is a pixel. Like
he could barely even get his lower body into that throw. Like, that was just
God. Like a throw like this from like the 20 would be impressive, let alone the fucking 35.
Like 37, yeah, that's insane.
Holy shit. I mean, Baker. Oh, Browns fans, shield your eyes. Holy shit.
Open your eyes, Browns fans. This is what you booed out of town.
Yeah, seriously. Actually, you guys fucking deserve it. You kicked them out.
Yeah, watch. It's like we're watching Bird Box. Yeah, I'm gonna make you open your eyes and watch this. This is cool.
Oh my. Yeah, that's like the definition of it had to be perfect for it to even have a chance. And
Dorian Thompson-Robinson's not making that throw.
No,
this is absurd.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
That's absurd. Brutal. Yeah. I don't know which of those was the best, but like those are all sickening.
Did you have an honorable mention you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, I'm just tech decking with my sister's Valentine skateboard here. Yeah, the one Bo Nix against the Bengals where he threw like legitimately 60 air yards through the air was one that I saw somebody comment about it when I was looking for this, and I forgot it happened. Somebody commented it, and it was absurd for like, especially the context of Bo Nix of being this like.
It was a touchdown.
Check down merchant. It was a touchdown to Marvin Mims, down like the center left of the end zone.
Yep, I found it.
Probably second half. I don't know.
I'm watching a YouTube ad. Okay, there we go.
Boo! Yeah, it's good to pay his whole salary for premium. I don't either.
I presume.
refuse. Yes, this is absolutely it.
The rollout right, launch back left. Oh, yeah, that ball was gross. Marvin Mims. Always Marvin Mims, bro.
And it's always Geno Stone. See, this is what I'm saying. But, like, for that to be, like, 65 air yards, rolling to his right. But, like, it being Bo Nix is what really got me about it. Also a fantastic route. But, like, if it was Josh Allen, it wouldn't be quite as, like, ugly insane. That's over 60 yards.
Wow.
That's like 70 yards.
I mean, it was one of those, it was so perfectly placed. Like, if he puts any more oomph behind it, he's probably running out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah. Like, that was one where, like, he literally couldn't slow down.
No, he couldn't.
Like, that's the definition of the basket.
Wow. I don't remember this ball being that pretty. Holy shit. What's with quarterback or what's with play callers like designing rollout opposite side bombs like that?
Yeah, why are we doing throwbacks with Bo Nix?
Like,
apparently he has the arm for it.
I guess they know better. Like,
man.
Who are we to question it? But like, I feel like the whole rolling kind of outright thing could have gone without. I mean, does that influence the safety though? It probably does.
100%. Because I feel like, look at that. Like he's shielding off that side of the field.
Yeah.
Because he's so confident that like that ball is not getting behind him at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially with the pursuit of the guy up top.
Who's 22?
That might Geno Stone is 22. I think that might be Battle 27 playing up top. And then he gets his back turned.
Yeah.
Now Mims squeezes between those two, but that still requires an insane pass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
He had one against the Bills too. That was not nearly as good, but it was still very in the playoffs.
Troy Franklin.
Yeah, they hit a bomb like on the first drive, and Bills fans were like freaking out. I'm like, relax. Like that's not going to happen again, but it was pretty impressive.
That was like the first positive Troy Franklin play all season long. Like let's give him a break.
I want that duo to work out. Like the Oregon
I wasn't confident
brothers.
in it at all.
It was
I was historically low on Troy Franklin, but
one of my fantasy flyers. Like, why not? Maybe they work something out, but
I was just so low on Troy Franklin that like I wouldn't let myself do it.
Fair enough.
I have like an archetype that I am strongly against. Him, the Jalen Hyatts of the world, can't do it.
Jalen Hyatt.
I can't go.
Jalen Hyatt caught one pass that was like monumental in his career so far, and it was against the Cardinals when they were getting destroyed.
Yeah,
and they came out at halftime, and he made that catch. But that was, I think, every clip that I felt like I wanted to share. I did have the Josh lateral from Cooper recorded, but
I didn't know where to put that because it wasn't like it didn't really fit anything. If it was clutch, that would have been my clutch because like I couldn't find a spot for it, but that deserved to be there.
Mm-hmm. It's worth a mention at least.
And it looked dope because it was in the snow. So like it also made for like a great wallpaper.
That's very true.
I think on one of my slideshows I used that as like the cover, and it did so much better than some of my other ones. Like,
which part of it? Good. Like him diving or like the pitch?
Yeah, so him like falling on the pylon in a blizzard was like the coolest looking thing ever.
Him and the thing about that catch too was Cooper like made a one-handed catch. Like the throw was bad, and he like reached behind him. And somehow
for absolutely no reason they did that.
Yeah, right. They're killing the poor Niners. McCaffrey tore his Achilles, and they're like, let's just pour it on. Like, fuck these guys.
Like Jordan Mason can just sit and watch.
That's all. Well, I think that's about all of the. Now that's all of the clips I wanted to go back and show.
Yeah, all 80 of them we just showed you. Yeah,
like there were a lot of clips that probably don't get some limelight if we don't feel the need to show them. So I feel like they were deserving.
I forgot about half of those, or didn't even see a few of them. So
yeah, same here.
I was actually glad we did that.
It was fun. It's always fun to dig those kinds of things up because everyone, like you said, kind of talked about like the Hail Marys and like the kick returns and like these plays that are impressive, but they're not worthy of all the media coverage they get. And then there are plays like we've shown that are ridiculous and no one talks about them.
Yeah.
That was episode 11. We plan on episode 12 being the start of a series called something along the lines of Fixing Team X or Rebuilding Team X. We'll come up with a title. Right?
Yeah, it's something to do with off-season plans. It'll be kind of about how to attack the draft, how to attack free agency, kind of how to restructure their team to a point that gets them into a better winning situation.
Yes.
So, we'll have different outlooks on how we're going to go about doing that. And we'll kind of just come up with like a little faux plan to make these teams better.
Yeah, and this will be the series where we introduce guests for the first time too. So we have a couple of guests that we're both excited to meet.
Absolutely. 100%.
And to have on trusted guys in the community that are going to bring some valuable perspective to the pod. So I'm excited to have those guys on and really have some good conversations. So stay tuned for that. That's coming in the next episode. But I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. If you did, like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, all of that fun stuff. We have our links to Against the Blitz down in the description. Our individual links are down in the description as well. If we forgot any clips, any plays that you think were worthy, let us know in the comments. We'll go and watch those back as well and determine if you're out of your mind or not. But we will see you guys in the next one.
Absolutely.